Hi, it's Mims, and today we're going to talk about Curly Girl Jargon. I've got some notes, there's a lot. At first I thought, well, there's not that many terms. Then I started writing them down, and there's a lot. So, I hope this is helpful, a bit of a guide to what all this means. I'm going to try and follow some sort of order. So I'm going to start with what you do at the beginning, how sort of like a styling routine, and kind of follow that order. So let's get started with the poos. So the first ones I want to talk about are the no poo, the low poo, the pre-poo. So let's break it down. So under cleansing, we would start off, when you're following the Curly Girl journey, you are avoiding shampoo, hence the poo. So what you're looking for is more than likely going to be co-washing, so washing with a conditioner that's silicone, sulfate free, and all the rest. So that you would wash with a conditioner, hence co-wash. You would potentially use a pre-poo. So a pre-poo is an oil treatment that you'd use on your hair, and then you'd use that before shampooing or washing your hair, although you wouldn't use shampoo. So low poo, no poo, etc. So that's the pre-poo. Then a low poo is a approved cleanser for your curls that has a light foam. So it might feel a bit more lathering, like a traditional shampoo might, but not be a natural shampoo. And then a no poo is a shampoo that has, or cleanser that has no lather at all, and kind of feels more like a conditioner when you're washing your hair. So that's those. Then I'm moving on to conditioning. So the next one is squish to condish. This basically means applying the conditioner into your hair and then squishing your hair like this to really get the moisture in there. And what you do is you grab handfuls of water, say in your shower, and just squish that in, like pulse it into your hair and really get that moisture in there. You will apply more or less water and rinse off more or less of your conditioner as you see fit, depending on how your hair feels. I've noticed when my hair's really damaged, I will really pulse in a lot and leave a fair bit of my conditioner in my hair, and that really helps. From what I understand, the hair shaft has got it's like layers, and when it's damaged, those kind of become lifted. So when you're squishing to condish, you are pushing and pulsing that moisture into the lifted up bits of your hair shaft. I will try and insert an image, and hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. I kind of imagine it like the scales of an armadillo, and if they were slightly lifted, you'd be like pushing the conditioner in. Hope that makes sense to you. Anyway, moving on. So squish to condish. The next bit I've got is how you would potentially apply your products. So first one is praying hands. So this is what we mean by praying hands. And then you would do this and work your way through the lengths of your hair. The next one I've got is roping. So you would basically look at your hair and then just kind of rope the product in like this. The next option I'm not going to do fully, but is raking. So raking the product in, like make a rake with your hand and go rake it in, and then squishing it in. So you'd have it in your hands and you'd squish the product in, like when you squish to condish. Let's get my notes. So that we've got that part for the styling. Then I have plopping. So when you plop, you are putting your hair basically in its natural pattern and just letting it absorb some of the water. I use a microfiber towel, you can use a t-shirt, you can use one of those microfiber turbans. And what you do is you prop the towel on a flat surface and then plop your hair down and then onto it and then wrap it up and let it sit at the top of your head. The other thing I do is I microplop, so I use a microfiber towel to get rid of some of the excess moisture out of my hair, like that, and then just kind of squeeze it into the towel, just to get rid of some of the excess moisture. Next ones I have, some of the terminology you'll probably hear of when you're starting the journey maybe, or how a beginner should start. So there's this word final wash. Now, this isn't officially recommended in the curly hair manual, but a lot of people do like to do it. So what you're wanting to do is, when using a final wash, is to get rid of any silicones that are already in your hair. So you will be using one last wash with a sulfate shampoo, one that doesn't contain any silicones. So the one that you could use is the Johnson's Baby Top to Toe Wash. It is harsh and it does strip your hair, but it also gets rid of the silicones. So if you just want a clean slate and get rid of your silicones, that's the way of doing it. Isn't the official method, and you certainly don't have to, but it gets rid of them, so you can. And I don't think in the grand scheme of things, you're going to be doing so much that's so beneficial for your hair. One last wash with the sulfate is probably not going to be a bigger deal, so up to you. Then you'll see the first day, second day, wash day. So the first day is the day you've washed your hair. The day after is your second day hair. The day after that, third day hair, and so on. Another term is refresh. So once you've washed your hair, so this is my wash day. After I've slept in it, I will probably want to do something to make it judge it up a little bit. So you might use a bit of water, or a bit of conditioner, or a bit of a refresh spray to just judge your curls back up. That is your refresh. When sleeping, you'll potentially want to protect your hair so it doesn't get all fluffy and you lose definition and such. So here comes the pineapple. And as a verb, pineappling, where you will grab all of your hair and pop it at the top of your head, like that. And you look a little bit like a pineapple. So that's pineappling. And then the last bit I want to go over is one that I found really confusing at the beginning and honestly didn't pay a lot of attention at the start. And if you're starting your journey, I'd probably say don't do it. Just don't pay too much attention at the beginning. When you've got your head around the whole co-washing, no poo, pre-poo, and all that, then maybe look at it. Or unless you're really struggling with it and then you want to look at different things that might help. So, and that for me is your curl type, your porosity, and your density. So a lot of people do think that it is really, really important. I think right at the start, focus on just protecting your curls and getting moisture in there and not using silicones and not using drying alcohols. That's enough. For me, at the beginning, I really think that that is enough. That's plenty to get you going. So, your curl types. So, type 2 hair is more of a wave, and that's from A, B, C, being the more defined wave or more towards the curly end. Type 3 is more of a curl, so it might be a looser ringlet, then a more defined like porcelain doll type ringlet, and so on. And then type 4 is more coily, so it's much tighter curls, much more defined curls. I will add an image here to kind of give you a visual guide. I do think it's quite open to interpretation, because I would put myself firmly in probably the 3A range with some 2B and 2C curl waves in there. But then sometimes you look at a picture and you're like, well, if you look at that picture, I'm a 3B. And if you look at this one, I'm a 2C. And it's all over. So it is a little bit open to interpretation. The next one is porosity. So this is how porous your hair is and how much water it will soak in, how much moisture it will soak in, how much of your products it probably will soak in. But equally, it will also mean how much your hair will lose moisture. So it might soak in a lot of your moisture to start off with, but then it also dries out quickly. A good way of testing this is to get a strand of your hair that falls out. Oh look, ta-da, one fell out. Anyway, and pop it in a glass of water. And if it sits at the top, it's not very porous. If it sinks to the bottom, it's very porous. And if it stays somewhere in the middle, it's medium porosity. So there you go. That's a bit of a guide with that. So what good way of doing it. The other is hair density. So how much hair is in your head, basically. I tried this earlier, a little bit difficult. So you get a ponytail and you measure the circumference of your ponytail. If it's less than 2 inches, it's low density. If it's between 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, sorry, it's medium density, and if it's 4 plus, it's high density. Now, you might want to have some help with this, because I was like, 7 inches, 7 inches, what's that? Pretty sure it's not accurate. But anyway. And then, just another quick one to go over is on the styling part. So, SOTC, or scrunch out the crunch. And what even is the crunch? So when you're styling your hair, you will often use a gel or a mousse that will create kind of like a hard layer on your hair. That's the crunch or the cast that protects your curls from frizz as they're drying and kind of keeps them defined without going all frizzy while they're still wet. So after, when your hair's fully dry, you would scrunch that out. You could use an approved hair oil or just your hands or a little bit of conditioner to just scrunch out and break up that crunch, that cast on your hair. So that is scrunch out the crunch. Now, I think that's all. I think I've got it all. But if there is anything that you're wondering, well, what is that? Do let me know, add it in the comments and I'll go over it. I'll try and do a part 2 if need be. But they're all the ones that I could think of. Now I'm going to put my hair in a pineapple and no. They're all the ones that I could think of. So if you do have any more that you'd like me to talk about, let me know. Add it in the comments. I hope you found it helpful. Please do like it if you've liked it and subscribe if you want to see more Curly Girl content. See you next time. Bye.